Well, hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name's Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, your health strategist and international published author, helping take your life from where you are right now to where it is that you want to be. And today I'm going to share with you one of the tools that I've found has completely changed the way that I approach each day. So I get more done, I'm more focused, I find I'm strengthening my mindset every single day, and it's golden. It really is. So I call it my daily blueprint for success, and I'm going to run you through the principles of it and then tell you what I include in mine so that you can create your own version of it. So this is a one sheet of paper that you can print off, you can have it on your desk, on your wall or whatever, on your phone. The one I'm looking at right now is on my phone. It's something that I've got set out in a portrait form. I have the descriptions down one side, and then I've got little columns over to the right, Monday through to Sunday. And I've got, in this particular version here, I've got 12 steps that I want to be accomplishing every single day. And then at the end of the day, I'll rate myself out of 10. And then I look at over the whole week, I'll then look at, so what are my successes this week in summary? What are my challenges? And how do I keep improving so that I can make the next week even better? Here's the thing. If you don't focus on something, you're not going to get better at it. And through the coaching with JT, what I realized is that I wasn't making the best use of my time. I wasn't focused enough. In fact, the very first contact I had with JT, he said, "You need to focus." And nobody had ever said that to me before. And I thought, actually, I know what you mean, because I'm doing a little bit here and a little bit there, almost like a bit of shiny object syndrome, trying to do, chasing that next shiny object, and rather than focusing on what the core things are that are either important to you or bringing in the money for you in your business or whatever it is that's driving you, you're instead doing a little bit of everything but not really getting anything done. And I thought, wow, that actually makes a really good sense. And since then, I've become more focused because I said, I've got to hone in what it is that I'm doing. And if I focus on what I've accomplished over the last 90 days through coronavirus shutdown here, I could have taken the opportunity there to do nothing and just hope that the government will bail out my business and give me some cash injections and stuff. Or what I could do is say, well, how can I innovate and create some new products and perhaps do some things that I've been wanting to do for so long but haven't had the time? And so that's what I did. I just did things differently, and I've accomplished so much over the last 90 days. But that's only come from the fact that I've been conditioning myself with this daily blueprint for probably 18 months now. So let me tell you what I've included. So I've listed 12 action steps, as I mentioned. My very first one is that when I start every single day, I think about what are maybe the 2 to 4 successful outcomes that I want to achieve for the day. So rather than just get up and get moving in the day, you can easily get lost because, again, this is what I was doing day after day after day, and I was finding that I just wasn't focused on any particular thing. And then some days would be quite productive, and then I'd get through a couple of days perhaps, and I'd reflect back and I'd say, what have I actually done? And in reality, what I'd done was just kept myself busy. Now, you can all keep yourself busy, can't you? I mean, you've got email distractions, you've got social media distractions, you've got phone conversations, you've got meetings, all of those things. You can keep yourself extremely busy and at the end of it, not really have accomplished anything, not really done anything, because you weren't necessarily focused on what were the outcomes that I wanted to achieve with those things. So here's a great tip that works really well. When I used to work in a corporate environment, so I run my own business now, so I don't work in a corporate, like a big corporation, but many people want to have meetings with you. Let's meet, let's catch up, let's do this. And I used to say yes to everything. But how often do you leave one of those meetings and say, why did we even do that? What was the purpose of that? Especially in a large corporation where there's a lot of bureaucracy. And so what was the point of that meeting? And you have them week after week after week. Instead, what I do is before I say I accept a meeting, I think, okay, so what is the outcome of this? I'm so busy, I don't want to waste my time. Is this going to be an effective relationship that we're going to have here? Is this like an effective business relationship? Is this meeting the purpose of just, I don't know, disconnecting with the world for a bit and just having some fun? Is it something else? Is it something where you're going to learn something? Is it going to help you form a longer term business relationship with someone? And so when I take that outlook, it really does change how I approach my decision making. So when it comes to the start of the day, I think, okay, so what are the 2 to 4 outcomes that by the end of the day, if I achieve these things, I'll be like, yeah, that's been a really good day. And I say 2 to 4 things because a lot of people, if you say it's more than 4 and they're, outcomes where you say, yeah, I'm going to be really happy with the day if I do these things, then often they'll be just to-do items. And most people won't do more than 2 to 4 really big things. It's a bit like when JT says, if you can have 50 good days in a year, then you'll be a millionaire. To have 50 good days in a year is really something. So I think don't overextend yourself in terms of what the outcomes are going to be, but make them good outcomes that you want to achieve. So that's what I do, and I write them down. And I use just a little app on my phone, it's a free one, where I just make notes as to what are those outcomes that I want to achieve at the start of each day. And I'll keep reflecting back on it through the day, and I say, okay, yep, I've got to make sure that, yes, this is my progress on those. I'll, tick them off as done as the day progresses. And then what I do is I make sure that they're scheduled in my calendar so that every effectively 15 minutes, half an hour in my calendar is scheduled. And that includes the time that I spend with my kids, any time that I spend doing workout, or if I have to workouts, or if I have to go shopping or do that kind of stuff, if I have to do domestic stuff, then I put it in the calendar so that I know exactly what I'm doing. Even on the weekend, I'm a little bit more relaxed on the weekend, especially if I don't have my kids staying with me. So I share them with their mums, so they're with me more of the time, but the weekends that I don't have them, then all that time is completely booked up with, I'm just working on the weekends that I don't have the kids. The weekends when I have them, I schedule my workouts and everything still, but then the rest of the time when I'm not seeing clients and so forth, then I'll spend that with the kids and do other things. So I make sure that everything is scheduled. So that's number one, making sure that I've identified what are the outcomes that I want to achieve today, and then I put it in my calendar. One of the other things that I do then is, in terms of my business, I'm making sure that I'm reviewing my numbers. I'm making sure that I'm updating any accounting software that I need to update. I'm looking at my marketing numbers. I'm looking at those things so that I'm across all of that. The next thing that I do is I'm listening to key podcasts, reading worldly news, all that kind of stuff, so that I can make sure that I'm across what it is that I'm going. As I'm building a more of a global brand, I want to make sure that I'm aware of what's going in other countries. And we know that JT talks about this quite a lot, so I want to make sure that I'm listening to relevant podcasts. I listen to JT every day, and any other podcasts that I may need to listen to, I'm making sure that I'm doing those things as well. I like to complete some strategic thinking every day, just like JT teaches us as well. And I like to add new items to my list through that thinking, as in, what are the new products and services that I would like to create? What are those new things that I want to add to my business, new services? and I keep adding to that list. I also write down, so what are the things that I can improve? What are the breakthroughs that I've had? I'm recording those as well. I'm also making sure that through the day, it's normally at night time, where I'll read. Now, I'll try and spend at least 10 to 30 minutes a day reading. I have not always been a good reader, and I wish I read earlier, but now that I probably didn't rediscover it again until I was 40. And now I make it a priority that I've got to read, because that's how I learn. And I love reading about coaching, self-improvement, whether it's an autobiography about someone, just that I can read and gain more knowledge and then implement that knowledge. So that's another one that I do. So obviously a lot of these are to do with my business, but I'm also making sure that I'm actioning my marketing plan, posting things on social media and doing all those things as well. And then I'm making sure that I'm also looking after my body. So that means that if I've got a workout scheduled for that day, I'm doing my workout. I make sure that I'm doing all my food preparation. I'm making sure that I'm taking care of my nutrition, my fluid intake, making sure that I'm doing at least my 10,000 steps so that I can get all that done, making sure that I'm just taking care of myself. So that's a really important one as well. I'm making sure that I build relationships every day too. So for me, I've made sure that I connect with 3 people, at least 3 people that I know, and 3 people that I don't know every single day, so that I'm continuously building on the people that I'm connecting with. So on LinkedIn, for instance, I might connect with, I try and make it 20 people. I'll send out 20 invitations, 20 connection requests a day, and then just get conversations going where that's possible, and just grow my network. And then I've got this one last, but it's probably the most important one behind my health, which is making sure that I connect with my kids. And so connecting with them in person and having fun and nurturing them and helping them grow. And if they're not with me, then still connecting with them via text, phone call, that kind of stuff as well. And so you can see they're the ones that I've created. This list changes over time. And in fact, everything that I've just gone through, as I've been going through it with you just now, I realised that I probably need to update mine to add some other things, maybe tweak some things as well. So, but they're the things that I've come up with. The key is to identify what are those things that you must do every single day to be successful in your life, your health, your relationships, growing your career, business. Now, you may not have a business, you may be just a career person, and that's fine, but what are all those things that you need to be doing at work? And I don't mean necessarily writing down every single task, because that's going to be a bit monotonous, but kind of chunking these things up into one thing and saying, well, I need to focus on marketing each day, and each day that could be something a little bit different. One day it might be social media, one day it might be some copywriting, another day it might be a press release, whatever. But what are those key things that for you to get to where it is that you want to get to, what are all those things that you need to be doing? And networking has got to be part of it. So I've got building relationships in mind. So it might sound really simple, but it's really powerful. And often some of the simple things can be really super powerful. Then once you've done all of that and you keep a record of it every day, so I just have a little tick column. Did I do it? Did I not do it? Well, if I didn't do it, it's either a tick or a cross. And then at the end of the day, then just give yourself a score out of 10 and say, well, actually, I didn't do everything. I didn't connect with the kids properly, or I didn't take care of my body today through my exercise and food and and so forth. I didn't do that marketing piece. I didn't work out at the start of the day what were those successful outcomes that I wanted to achieve. And just rate yourself from 1 to 10, with 10 being, you got it all 100% right. And then do that for the whole week. And then at the end of the week, so maybe this is something to do on a Sunday, when you've got a little bit of time, you're setting yourself up for success for the next week, and you can say, okay, so out of everything that I did this week, what were the successes? What really worked well for you? And just write down some things, because these are really good to keep filed away and look back at them over time and see how much you've progressed. Super powerful. And then see, what were the challenges that you had? What were the challenges? Maybe you had some specific challenges around doing your workouts. And maybe it was a case of, do you know what? I wanted to do 3 workouts this week, but I only managed 2 because on this one particular day, I was kept in this meeting or whatever. It was late. I was a little bit tired by the time I got home, and I didn't have a chance to do it. And maybe that's happened for you for a few weeks in a row. So one of the challenges let's say it's a Wednesday, one of the challenges is getting that workout in and looking after yourself on that Wednesday is a real problem. So then when it comes to the next part and you're looking at the improvement opportunities that come out of that, you could say, well, actually, do you know what? On Wednesdays, I need to get up just an extra half an hour earlier and do that workout before I go to work, because I'm having this problem every week and I really want to make sure that I'm looking after myself. Or you say, do you know what? I can't manage the 3 workouts through the week. So rather than go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to go Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday or Sunday to do that workout. Then I only have to worry about 2 through the busy week, and I've got a bit more flexibility on the time, on the weekend. Another outcome, another improvement opportunity that you might see is that, do you know what, I'm finding this daily blueprint is working really well for me, but on the days where I don't start the day or finish the night before setting up the day for success for the next day with what are the outcomes that I truly want to achieve for the day, when I don't do that, I find that I'm nowhere near as successful. And that's what I've certainly found. If I don't do that step, I'll find after a day or 2, maybe I've become a little bit complacent and I haven't identified what are the key things that I want to achieve each day. I find that my productivity starts to drop off. I find that my satisfaction with my outcomes kind of bank up, and I think, wow, I'm really disappointed with what I've been doing lately. What's going on? And then I'll say, I haven't been identifying what it is that I want to achieve for each day first. And I might be doing some of those other things, or you find you become a little bit lazy and the blueprint for success kind of slips to one side, and you're saying, well, I'm doing most of those things, but this is the point. You've got to identify those key things that are really crucial for you to be successful. Remember, we don't just want to get through the day, we want to take ourselves from point A to point triple Z so that we are achieving all the things that we want to achieve. And that's only going to happen by being consistent, doing some hard work, making yourself uncomfortable, but being certainly very consistent with how you approach it. And since I've been doing this, I've found my mindset has completely changed. I get stronger and stronger and more determined and more focused on what it is that I want to achieve. So it really changed how I approached my life, and it's really had a dramatic impact on the outcomes that I achieve every single day. So have fun with this. It's a great exercise. Trust me, do it, and you watch the results. I'll see you tomorrow.